Well, everybody, we got a report of an airplane down in Sylvan Beach today, and I got quite a few calls from folks worried that it was me. I figured the least I could do is go down and check down there and see that nothing really happened. So we're going to go down and check Davidlebrex and Collins's and along the shoreline there to make sure that we don't have any wreckage in the water there.
And
right along.
We're approaching Davidlebrex. I kind of thought that, you know, if anybody went down, they would be in the area off the ends of these runways there or along the shoreline. So I figured, you know, we can look at a large area from this altitude, and so that's kind of what I did. Was I went down and you can see the runway out in front of us there, shooting the approach to Dave's, and that's a pretty rugged area to try to cover on the ground because it's swampy. So we just went down, flew the approach, a low approach to Dave's field here. He's got it well maintained, and nothing amiss here by any means. Runway's in good shape, and you know, we're just looking for anything that would be out of the ordinary. Hopped up over the trees and going to go down along the shoreline because apparently it was a woman on a boat that said she saw an airplane go down, quote unquote, and not really giving us a lot of information. But I know Sylvan Beach went out and they did a search on the ground and weren't able to come up with anything. Luckily, Mercy Flight was in the area. They were over. Took a look too, but as we go along the shoreline, this is the Verona Beach shoreline. You've seen it lots of times. I fly down here all the time. But from this altitude, you can actually look down into the water and see the bottom. And right out there in front of the tire on about a 45-degree angle, you can see that brown, and that brown is actually the sand on the bottom. So it's really pretty easy to see. If there's anything down there, you can see it pretty good. And the closer you get to shore, of course, the better you can see it, because it's this is a unique area here in the Verona Beach, Sylvan Beach area. The sandy bottom goes out very shallow for a long ways, and you'll see that right here pretty quick. We're coming up on the Sylvan Beach area where they got the boats tied up and what have you, and we're out away from that, giving people, you know, a lot of space. But as we're looking, you can see the brown on the bottom real well. And I mean, I didn't see anything certainly out of the ordinary here by any means. So we went ahead and hopped up over the trees and went over to the area along the campgrounds along Fish Creek there toward Collins's, and again off the approach end of his runway over there. But here, as we're getting up over the tree line, you can see the bottom real well here. I mean, that brown is actually the sand on the bottom of the lake. So, I mean, there's obviously nothing out of the ordinary that I saw. And, of course, got to get up, give the folks a safe altitude. And we headed right over straight toward Collins's along the creek and along Fish Creek, and you can see there's a lot of open area here right there under the propeller of the airplane. That's a real tough area to search from the ground. You can't get out there, and you can see it from the air real well. Again, we're out away from the populated area. This is the water treatment plant, Sylvan Beach University right here. I worked on that job back in the early 70s before I went to work for the Sheriff's Department. But here's Fish Creek. And again, you can see all of these little fields where easily you could have somebody in there, and from the air you can see it real well, but from the ground it would be very difficult to search that area. I mean, I've searched more area here in 10 minutes than the fire department could have covered in hours out there, men on the ground. So I see nothing out here, and I guess that's just reinforcing that this was an erroneous report. So, but you can see right out in front of us Collins's field, and we're going to just go ahead and look this area over. The campground's all off to the left there, And again, we're away from the populated area. You easily could land in any of these any of these fields down here. Matter of fact, I have landed down here. The one right under the propeller in the airplane, I landed there years ago when I had my old Vagabond. But you see all these fields that are set back here. Real easy to see them from the air, but not so easy to see them from the ground. So, and you got the areas where the creek changed course. And but anyway, Collins's runway right out in front of us, right between the two trees here, and we'll follow our shadow right to the ground. They got a pretty nice little colt over here on the field that they fly from here, and of course you got the approach from behind the hangar. And right along the runway here. This is a really nice little runway. We've landed here quite a few times, but I guess I'm going to say we searched the area with negative results. But we're going to go ahead and do a little treetop flying on the way back home, and head out over the trees here through the swamp and. Across the canal. That's on one of the locks on the barge canal there. And again, now that we're on the south side of the canal, you can see a lot of open area that would be really difficult to search on the ground, but you can cover it really well from the air. This is the old Faber farm here. Van Lieshout's bought it, and they got it all planted to corn. Right out in front of me here, I landed here, the brown area. I actually landed in both of these fields, the one closest to us, and then the one the other side of the ditch. I'll drop down and show it to you. And nice, well-groomed fields here. They got the wheat combined off in it. And I said, hey, we got a little brown spot here, and looks like they might have top dressed that with some of that liquid fertilizer from the tanks up there. And as I got past it, the way the wind was blowing, it was obvious that was the case. So, but beautiful, beautiful field there. Like I said, landed there quite a few times before. And up over Route 46 at Collins Road. And this is Van Lieshout's farm right out in front of us. And I just happened to catch them. They were. It looked like they were putting haylage in the bunker silo here. You can see the stand-up silos, but then the blue tanks, and to the right of the blue tanks, you can see them here in a minute, working with the big machines, backing up on the bunker silo, and they're putting the forage in there, and then packing it down. They'll cover it up for feed for the cattle. So back over home. With a pretty good forward slip going on. You watch me slide her down in here. We're sideways, and then we'll straighten the airplane up and just land it on the wheels and let it roll out. So I hope you enjoyed the ride down to the beach. Again, searching for an airplane that went down, which turned out to be negative, which is good.